would you like? Do you just need an ear? What do you need? Yeah. How many times do we actually do that to people? We just jump in the boat. We just want to. Yeah, and I think it's human nature is we're just more interested in ourselves. If you think about it, selfie picture. What's the first thing that most people do when they take a selfie picture in a group? They literally zoom in and look at themselves. Why? Yeah, we're just more interested in ourselves. And if we don't look good, we don't post the picture even if everybody else has done their own stuff. So I think just have to remember that we got to step back and just really support people, right? Yeah, it's like, and this is that's why I just real quick, like my mom will do that. I'll be like, yeah, I have a headache. Well, are you drinking enough water? Why do you have a headache? Did you get enough fluid? I'm like, I just simply want to make a statement. So I love that question. Do you want support? Do you want advice? Do you whatever? So thanks again, April. It was a great conversation. Awesome. I know April has a hard stop. So at 7, so I definitely want to make sure we thank her. Let's put some heart emojis, and I put all of her links in the chat. Her book is on top. It's also in the chat as well. If you're interested in purchasing the book. April, again, thank you so much for carving out time for me this morning and just sharing your genius with this audience. And have an incredible day, incredible weekend. Definitely catch up afterward. But thank you again for being so today. Thank you. I love you. So, day, my all right, folks. I'm going to do a quick reset before I pass over to Health Wells. Definitely wanted to make sure that I honored April's time. All of her links are in the chat, so definitely take advantage of that. And Health Wells, when you're ready, just put your link up there. I'll do a quick reset. I'll recap the room for those of you that just got in. I had the author, April Sabral, here. She wrote the book, Incurable Positivity, and the main points of her book are like that positivity is a choice, right? It's a skill. It is a skill that can be developed ongoing practice. And so she mentioned some of the things you can do to maintain that because, again, we are limiting the exposure to negativity and toxic environments in our actions, in what we do in our practice every day. And that's where the magic happens, in limiting that exposure, right? Because it's always going to happen. It's exactly what Mary Lynn said. Like, life is going to be life, and sometimes it's going to be lifing in the negative pond, and sometimes in the positive pond. And how we deal with the negative is how we then can move on to, our future life in a better state, right? And reframing situations. Okay, she wrote the example of being in traffic and getting to the office and just complaining about it, or giving it a twist and saying something positive about it instead of, that negativity. So again, it could be as simple as that conversation. Sometimes we just want to complain about something, and trust me, we all do it. And then lastly, she mentioned about just regular gratitude practices that remind you of your blessings and that help to boost that positivity. And part of it is self-care. That gives you that energy and that resilience, really, to stay with that positive mindset. And hopefully we're all taking that into account. A lot of times we don't move in the way that we should because we're pushing ourselves to a point where we're not, looking at reality more. We're looking at our goal. I want to get there. I want to get this done. And we're not acknowledging maybe the things like, okay, I need to do this first. I need to ground myself. I need to be positive. I need to change this. And we don't notice sometimes in our tonality and how we talk to other people, how we're coming across either. So like that becomes a whole thing, and it really can spiral out of control. So I want to definitely start off the year on a positive note, literally, with this author, Incurable Positivity. But let me reset the room and then hand over the mic to Health Wells. Thank you everyone again for joining us. You are in Breakfast with Champions. We are here every day, folks, and we have pop-up rooms. So you're going to be missing out if you're not in the room. Make sure that you realize, like, hey, we are in this room for you as well. So you are also adding your, everyone's shares are beautiful to hear as well, because we're all learning and leveling up together. Remember that we are here Monday through Saturday. We start off Monday through Friday, we kick off at 4 a.m. New York time. And then Saturdays, we kick it off at 5 a.m. And then Sunday at 9 a.m., we kick it off with our worship room. And then we have pop-up rooms throughout the day. So please follow the house. Join the Facebook group, because we put the direct link of the room in there every day, just so that people don't get lost in the hallways, digital hallways and Clubhouse. So definitely join that Facebook group. We'll be reposting those links back in the chat as well, so you can catch up there. And for those on the replay, you can just scroll up to get those links. But other than that, thank you all. Have an incredible Saturday. Health Wells, the virtual mic is now yours, my friends, and welcome to the stage.
Can we unmic and give Dora and her guests a big woo? Come on, y'all. We can flare up and give them some energy. Woo! Oh my gosh, absolutely love it. All right, I see my guest is here. So you guys, I am Shawnte Health Wells. I am Mabel's granddaughter, but more importantly, I want to start a bit different with some words from our greatest orator, motivator, and inspirator of all time, in my opinion, and many folks' opinion. So without delay, let's go.
You know, several years ago, I was in New York City. It was a dark Saturday afternoon. The minute black woman came up, the only question I heard from her was, "You Martin Luther King?" And I said, "Yes." The next minute, I felt something beating on my chest. Before I knew it, I had been stabbed by this demented woman.
All right, I had to start us there. I'm doing 30-second clips to make sure we don't have any copyright issues. But here's the thing. I know it's an unusual way to start off talking about the dream, but I need you to understand that the dream starts with you. And I need you to repeat after me. I need us all to unmic and say, the dream starts with me. We ready? Unmic. 1, 2, 3. The dream starts with me. Again, the dream starts with me. Last time, let's go. The dream starts with me. Woo! Listen, you guys, I need you. I had to bring you guys this speech. If you've never heard it, it's called, listen, If I Had Sneezed. And see, you can have things that will impact your life, impact, more importantly, the dream from unlikely sources. So if we travel back in time, listen, the North was hailed as a safe haven. So let's think about, of all places, for an assassination attempt to be attempted on this great man, it came from New York. Long before, like, all the other great things, before the March on Washington, before all of that, they tried to take him out in a place that should have been safe for him, in New York City. Yes, the Big Apple. So I need you to understand that just because you have a dream, it does not mean that weapons won't be formed. But here's the thing, I got some good news. Listen, my favorite book says that weapon might be formed, but it's not gonna prosper. We don't know when or how things are gonna work out sometimes, but here's what I do know. You're here right now in this moment. You won your health lottery because there's something that you are intended to do. So that dream, I need you to understand that the dream starts with me. So you may experience a stab with your dream. Listen, your family dream may experience a stab. Some of us have gone through some things in our family. I think you guys heard Dora's story about how she felt with what happened with her mom, and also she's lost her dad. Listen, I lost my dad recently. You heard Gail talk about what just happened, with her son. Listen, sometimes your family dream may experience, the ebbs and flows of life. And if it hasn't come down your street yet, just keep living. It will. But there's hope. There's hope. I'm so blessed that God gave me my dad for all of these years up until now. I am sure that Dora is so blessed that she had an opportunity to know her mother. I'm sure that Gail, as you just heard her say, she's so blessed that she had 40 plus years with her young king. I know that there's so many people on the stage. Listen, you've had time with family members, even if it wasn't as long as you would have liked it. God gave you a blessing in them. You got to experience and know their love, their light. Listen, our family dreams may get a stab, but I'm so grateful that I have a family. I'm so grateful that I get an opportunity, listen, to grieve my father. I'm so grateful that I have a family dream. I'm so grateful that all the people that are still here with me on this earth in the physical form, I am grateful for them. I am so very grateful that even though I've had some opposition, in my family dream, guess what? That weapon didn't prosper. That weapon did, because there's still work for us to do. I know there's still work my father wants me to do. So here's the thing. I want to make sure that we understand. Listen, your health dream is showing up being stabbed. We've talked about big sugar. We've talked about big pharma. I need you to understand that no matter what impacts your dream, we got to keep moving forward. We got to keep moving forward. That's what Dr. King said. So I want you to think about a dream that maybe has had some impact, or some negativity or something that's not favorable that you've been faced with, that you want to speak forward. I don't want us to walk in fear in 2024. We can prevail more in 2024. Prevail is my word. And I refuse to allow the enemy to silence the dream that's within me. I do have a health dream. Listen, you might have a health dream. You might have a business dream or a financial dream or a fun dream. Recreation is good for our bodies. It's good for our minds. You may have a business dream. Whatever that dream is, I want us to not be afraid to name it and to say it. Dreaming is not just for kids. It ain't like the cereal tricks just for kids. No, dreaming is for you. Dreaming is for me. Dreaming is something that Dr. King never stopped doing up until the day of his death. Listen, dreaming matters. I know that sometimes in the personal development space, people can start, speaking on dreams and a negative thing. Listen, dreams are living. Dreams are alive. It's a living, breathing thing, just as sure as you are. Dr. King's dream was alive. It's alive and living right here through us. Look at this stage. We're all across the world. Look at all of the ethnic groups represented right here. Years ago, this would have been illegal, but we're all here. We're living the dream. And guess what? We got to keep the dream alive, and we got to keep dreaming as well. Dreaming is not dead. That's what the health enemy wants. That's what your enemy wants. That's how the law of resistance works. It's to stop us from progressing. It's to stop us from going and achieving more. You can't stop dreaming. You cannot. Do not allow anyone to stop you from dreaming. So I want to open up the floor and give us an opportunity to speak a dream, whether it be a health dream, whether it be an educational or academic dream, or whether it's a family dream, any type of dream, small, large, medium size, I don't care. But I think it's so important that on this MLK weekend that we start this year out talking about our dreams in different areas of our life. Who'd like to go first? Pop in.
Woo, Shawnte, girl, you are on fire. I'm giving you such a big tray hug. You got me over here all emotional, all going on this roller coaster, going, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity to be loved by people. And I heard that from you talking about your dad. So, Trey Urban here, listening audience. And you know what? My heart is to impact 100,000 people's mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual body to reset and elevate. Queen, I am so excited. Thank you for being on your mission to help me reset. I love you.
Woo! I love that, Trey. I love that she spoke up. She spoke that dream forward. Let's go. Who's next? Let's speak our dreams.
Ooh, I had a dream. I had a dream to provide a global solution to cope with grief, mourning at the speed of life, because everybody wants to remember. I have a dream to have a public service, because everybody should be allowed to freely express themselves when they're vulnerable and exclusively for memorializing. God bless you.
Woo! I sure enough love that dream. And I definitely, Patty, make sure you put a link in the chat as well to your, I know you have a grief, something with along the lines of grief that you do here.
I just published a book, and my app is literally just a days away from launching, and it's going to be a new grind all over again. But thank you so much. God bless. I'll receive that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I definitely plan to tap into Patty's dream and anybody else who may be going through a time of bereavement. Listen, don't be afraid. Listen, it takes community. During Mary Lynn's segment earlier, listen, we can't do this thing alone. I wasn't able to overcome my fear of skating. And even though that was a recreational fun dream that I have, and recreational matters, y'all, we are designed for some fun. We are meant. There's a reason why we have those type of receptors in our body. Like we have them for what we're meant to experience pleasure. And skating was a pleasure, but it was also a fear for me. I'm so happy that Mary Lynn kicked off that our conversation this morning on this Saturday during this BWC rise and grind type of Saturday morning. I call it a sensational Saturday, but it's important. We can't do this alone. Dr. King didn't do this alone, and neither can we. So I want to hear these dreams, y'all. There's something powerful about speaking it. There's an energy behind our voice. So who wants to speak their dream next?
Oh my gosh, I gotta say something, Shawnte. Oh my word, sweet precious girl. I just wrote down as you were going, I was just jotting, writing. I said our family dreams might take a stab, but I'm so grateful that my life will never stop standing on my son Travis John's crazy king of dreamers, champion of doing, living his heart all day, every day, as well as myself. My life is supercharged.
Woo! Can we unmic and give Gail a woo? That was powerful. I felt that. Woo! Come on, y'all. Come on. That was powerful. Yes. Yes. Yes, Queen. We got to celebrate them. Go for it. Who was that?
No, it's for now.
I was just saying thank you.
Oh, Gail, I'm sorry, honey. Go back.
No, you're welcome.
No, hi, Linnell. Good morning, sweetheart. I was just saying thank you. I love this morning. I'm so glad I'm here. Thank you.
We're so glad you're here too, Gail, and we're sending you love and hugs. And oh my goodness, you're just such a wonderful lady, and we love you so much, Gail. Please reach out if you need anything. Please reach out also. All right. Health. Good morning. Good morning. I love that you have so much energy this morning. Your energy level just put me in a different energy level. But my dream is really to help men who have gone through the pain of divorce or other traumatic events regain clarity and confidence for the next steps. And the reason that I say that is because when women are in a situation that they don't really expect it, because you never expect life to life, right? And so a lot of times as women, we try to, and I love that King didn't do it by himself, and that's definitely something that I am taking into this new year and helping as many women get past their trials and their tribulations. This is Linnell Burns. I'll go ahead and I'm sorry. I'll pass the mic.
Woo! Yes, and y'all are going to hear from Linnell at 7:30. I cannot wait when our interview will be starting shortly. Y'all going to hear more from her. Tash, go for it.
Oh, I love that too. I love that. May I share as well, please? Oh, sure. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Jump in. I'll be thank you. I'll close my mic. I told Linnell not to say mute out. Somebody else did too. So then I went and said it. I will pause. There we go. Oh, is that the new word? Okay, I will pause my mic. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Gail, I don't know if you saw my message in Rising Grind. I did tag you saying, Gail, I'm trying to send you a message. I've been trying to send for a while and I don't know why I don't have that feature to message you directly. So please, if you can on Facebook, we're Facebook friends, but I'm not able to send you a message. So please, Gail, send me a message on Facebook. Yeah, sending you lots of love. So amazing, your journey and what you've been through, and you're inspiring and, encouraging everyone out there. So thank you so much, Gail, for what you do and what you share about your son. Just amazing. You're touching our lives. Thank you, Gail. We love you. Thank you, Kat. Oh, so what I wanted to share, Shawnte, is
looking forward to hearing Linnell. So I will pour into Linnell after we've heard. I always love her shares. So mine is, as you all know, my banner says it all. It's all about Africa, specifically Tanzania. My big dream is to eradicate poverty in Africa, starting one country at a time. I have to be biased, starting in Tanzania. So from the whole thing, starting education, the health, the whole economy, and all that stuff with the politics and all the combination of everything. I know we all struggle in the developed world. Here in the UK, there's so many issues, and the US, because we still have poverty in different parts of the country. However, our continent is way behind than where I am at the moment. So I am the bridge, and I would love to see even create that legacy, right? Even in my lifetime, to see it come to fruition, or even get it started and somebody finishing it. I would absolutely love to hear that. So that is my biggest dream. And when I was given God gave it to me. So it's a bit of a big story, but it's not something that God gave it to me. My child do this. It's when I opened the Bible and things came into place, and then a friend came. So things work together like a glove, just like a puzzle. They all work. So that's how I believe God spoke to me about it. So when I first got in 2018, up to now, that's all I want to talk about. That's all I want to do. Again, goosebumps talking about it. And, it will give me so much pleasure to see, even in my lifetime, even afterwards, to see something happen for my continent, Africa, and everyone else outside of Africa, the diaspora, everyone who has some kind of roots in Africa, all of us get involved to help our people so we don't have that huge of a gap of poverty and the poverty mindset as well. So thank you. That's all I have to share. Wonderful.
Woo! Woo! I love it. I love that Tanzanian dream, Tash. I love it, sis, and look forward to continuing to support that dream. Mary Lynn, up to you, sis.
I'm back. Sorry. I was just taking a picture of the beautiful white pelicans that migrate to Florida in the winter. It's a happening every winter, and it's so beautiful. I'm down here on the water. So, we're talking about the dreams, and mine's a simple dream. Honestly, lately I've been pretty passionate about. Is just as I round out to 55, is living a life that is fun and to show people that this is yet to come, and that will be through sharing my journey.
Oh, I love that. And I got to see a picture of those white pelicans too. Oh my gosh, how beautiful. I've never seen white pelicans. Like, I love this time of year because we get them in Miami, even though I'm not in Miami anymore. But I love that migration and being able to see the pelicans. There's like a whole harbor.
I'll put it on my PTR because I just took it.
Woohoo! I'm so excited, and I love that you're opening up and sharing more, because as many of you guys, I would never stop saying, like, because her and Monica shared their gifts, I am here. I followed her right into BWC. So anyone who can open up and has books, you guys know how I feel about books, they draw me in, and that built my trust, and I continued to trust her and followed her to BWC. And oh my gosh, I'm so delighted and grateful that I did. So yes, Mary Lynn, I want to see more of that dream. I want to see you and your son. I think that podcast, I don't know if y'all realize, y'all have basically reshaped and re-owned that word MLM and put the positivity back in it. And I absolutely love it. I'm so excited for you and your dreams. Who wants to pop in next?
You won't let me change it because of that, like redefining a whole acronym. And if you pull a refresh, the pelican is there.
Awesome sauce. Who wants to go next? Oh my God, how beautiful. Who wants to pop in next? Come on, we're talking about the dream. I need you to speak it forward. Somebody needs to speak a family dream forward. Somebody needs to speak a health dream or a financial dream or a business dream, whatever. Hey, Rocky, good to see you, sis. Listen, we're speaking our dreams forward. Come on, we got 7 minutes before my interview starts. So who'd like to speak a dream forward now?
I'll go again if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So my dream is that my children would grow up in a world where we are not divided by our skin color, like Dr. King said, but really for the content of their character, that nothing should hinder them because of the way that God made them. And so that's my dream for not just my children, but for generations to come and the children's children's children. And all of us, I just think we are so divisive when it comes to something that can't be changed. So why not just change our minds about it and decide to unite? So that's my dream. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. I love that you even brought up, our children, because here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that I Have a Dream speech was written for kids. Listen, his life's blueprint speech, that was for young people. He was very, very involved. And the young people were youth and young adults were such a big part, which is why I'm so delighted to support what Christina is doing, who I alternate Saturdays with on the last weekend of January. I believe that's the 27th, the weekend of the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th. Dr. King believed in young people. He believed in young adults. We can't forget them. We can't forget the children in our family. There's a legacy, a living legacy. Not only are they witnessing things that we're doing, but even some things to outlive him. And outlive us. So I want to play this clip. He's talking about how he even turned this into a whole speech and a whole thing. And it's called If I Had Sneezed. I put the full clip. It's a 5-minute clip, but I'm only going to play 30 seconds of it. But I want you to understand this young girl, listen, helped him. Think about it. He went to the Big Apple trying to do something good. No one goes to New York, especially at this time as a person of color, expecting to get stabbed. And expecting to get stabbed by someone from your own community that looks like you and a woman all together. So this is powerful. This is a pivotal moment in Dr. King's life. And guess what? Of all the letters and things that people sent to him, guess what? It was a young person that got him up out of that bed and got him back on, the mission, and helped him to continue to go forward with this dream after he had been stabbed. I want to play this short clip for you right now.
I'm simply writing you to say that I'm so happy that you didn't sneeze. And I want to say tonight that I too am happy that I didn't sneeze, because if I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here in 1960. And students all over the South started sitting in at lunch hours. And I knew that as they were sitting in, they were really standing up.
So as he said, as they were sitting in, they were really standing up. So it's time for us to go ahead and stand up on our dream. It's time for us to stand up for that family dream. It's time for us to stand up on our life's dream. It's time for us to stand up on that health dream that we know has been stabbed by Big Pharma, that we know has been stabbed by Big Sugar. Listen, you have 5 components of health to think about. Listen, environmentally, let me tell you how they've been stabbing you with phthalates inside of your dish detergents, your shampoos, your lotions. Listen, get them out. Phthalates, PTH, ALATES. Obesogens in your household, the flame retardants on your mattresses and furnitures. And listen, it's time for us to understand we got to stand up and not sneeze on our dreams. We can't sneeze on the health dream environmentally. We can't sneeze on the health dream socially. I understand that COVID isolated us and that did something to us, listen, socially. But here's the thing. We don't have to stop there. Don't sneeze on your dream. Listen, psychologically, we have been, some people have gone through grief. Many of us have gone through grief. We've gone through anguish. Listen, we've gone through depression, and we have moments of depression, depressive thoughts. Listen, some are dealing with suicidal thoughts. Here's the thing. Don't sneeze. Don't sneeze on the dream. You're here on purpose. You are here in this moment on purpose. Don't have survivor's guilt. Listen, you're here. Keep going on. Listen, make your loved ones continue to shine and be proud. They're watching us on the other side. I truly do believe that. So don't sneeze on your dream. Listen, physically, maybe you have a sugar addiction, as I've had in the past. Listen, maybe you have some other form of food addiction. Maybe you have bone health problems that you're not even aware of the impact of the fact that we're not getting enough calcium, and no milk don't do your body good unless you haven't, grass-fed, listen, A2 cows based type of milk or a milk substitute. But here's the thing, you can get better bone health. That's what you need to be concerned with as you get older. See, it's not just the fact of aging. Listen, a lot of people, one of the most common causes of death in the elderly is when they fall and they're breaking their hips. Bone health matters. Bone health matters. You got to get that calcium out of your arteries. Let it go to where it needs to go. Broccoli can help you do that. Listen, it's time for us to stop sneezing on the dream. Milk, it does not do your body good. It does the opposite of good. I came to make sure that I let freedom ring, that you understand the truth of the matter. Milk is not doing your body good. You ain't got to take my word for it. Go to the NIH. Look at all of the case studies. Look at the research. No, calcium from vegetables will do your body good. Find a vegetable that works for you that has a high calcium intake. Broccoli is one of them. So here's the thing. I need you to not sleep on the dream. I need you to not sleep on the dream spiritually. See, because I understand during COVID, and nobody stood up and apologized for it. Not only did we go through the social isolation, but we also weren't able to go in to our places of worship, for a long period of time. Listen, whatever your spiritual practice is, many of us were prohibited from going, and it took a minute for people to get to the whole online space and doing Zoom spaces, spiritually speaking. Listen, your dream matters. Don't sneeze, and don't snooze on your health dream. Listen, you got to keep that dream going. You got to keep the dream alive, and it starts with you. Listen, your academic and educational dream is worth it. I don't know who that's for, but I felt that heavenly download this morning before I got onto Clubhouse that I needed to say that to somebody. Keep the dream alive. Some of you have an academic or educational pursuit that you've been asking, is it worth it? And I'm here to tell you, it is worth it. Listen, you got to go ahead, listen, and read this year through your eyes, through your ears, listen, through your fingers if you're someone that's visually impaired. But you got to dead the excuses about I can't, I don't feel like I ain't got the time and this, that, and that. You got the time. You got to read. You got to read. There's so many books. That's why before we started this year, I made sure to ask you all, I said, I wanted you to set an intention around a book. And I'm going to keep following up with y'all on this. Don't let your academic dreams die. School doesn't end when you got that diploma from high school. It didn't end when you got that degree. School never ends. You should be a lifelong student. Listen, keep the dream alive. I want you guys to unmic with me one more time, and I need you to say, the dream starts with me. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
The dream starts with me.
I couldn't hear you. Again? The dream starts with me. Woo! I hope that you guys receive it. I hope that you understand that. That's the dream. Listen, if you're wondering what the theme for 2024 from the MLK Center and what this holiday season, what they're going with 2024 is, it starts with me. That is the MLK theme for this year. You can tap in with that. I know that you can relate to that. So without delay, I want to get to my guest interview, and we'll close with a clip from Dr. King. I dropped the full speech for if I had sneezed in the chat, so you guys can tap in with that. So Linnell, how are you doing, sis? Good morning. Would you like to greet the people while I change out your link here?
Good morning, everyone. And I just want, if you guys can give a woo for help, because she is always asking for help. Yes. One more time, y'all. One more time, like you need it. Awesome. Well, I love that one. That was good. I hope you enjoyed that, because we enjoyed doing it for you. Can you still
Yes, I can. All right. All right. So, I would love to know, and I want to see some of these answers in the chat as well. So, Linnell, I know that there has to be an MLK quote that has impacted you, one that just kind of stopped you in your tracks. And even if you guys have shared different ones before, when on the I Have a Dream anniversary, I asked you a similar question, but I want you to think about one that has impacted you, like that kind of stopped you in your tracks, or that made you kind of pause and really think about that, and reread it and reread it. And I'd love to see some answers, and I am going to open the mic for you to share. But Linnell, I'd like to know, what was an MLK quote that stopped you in your tracks, or really impacted you, made you pause on it?
Yeah, such a good question, Health. And, one that really stands out to me with Dr. King, and the reason that this one resonated with me was because of the times that I had gone through adversity, and just watch my progression after I came out of it. And the quote that Dr. King, the quote that resonates with me from Dr. King is, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And the reason that this is the one is because even as we're looking today, in the situation, and I'm not a politician, so guys, please don't think that I'm getting, my political banner up or anything like that. But I think so many times we're sitting here in the United States, things are happening in other countries, and we're so vocal about what's happening in other countries, but we're not vocal about what's happening in our own. And so Dr. King is such a great example that he was willing to be vocal in his own backyard first before he started to take up the mantle for everything else. And I'll go ahead and mute out. Oh, I'm sorry. Pass the mic back.
I absolutely love that. Who else has an MLK quote that really, it spoke to you?
Okay, I'll share mine. I just put it in the chat. Life's most urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Dr. Martin Luther King. That says it all for me. We're here to serve. And I just love that quote. Thank you. God bless.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's one of my favorite question quotes. I was like, wow, who has a quote that's a question? But he never stopped asking us those questions. And I love it, Patty, that you're absolutely right. We're here to serve. We're here to serve. Who has a quote that speaks to them?
I have one. Good morning. This is Tracy.
Go for it. Go for it, sis.
You don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great.
Woo!
With me, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. So let's get started.
Oh, I love that. That ties right into the MLK theme for this year, Tracy, right? Isn't that so powerful? Like, man, listen, Dr. King, we talking about rappers got bars. Dr. King had bars, y'all. Like, if you think about all these different, sayings and speeches and quotes and these, nuggets that we've pulled from his speeches, man, that's powerful. And from his sermons. Anybody else got a Dr. King quote that speaks to them?
Hey, Queen. Okay, this is Trey Urban. Okay, so for me, I had to give myself permission to be my big self, right? This big energy. So one of my favorites is, intelligence plus character is the goal of true education. So that helped me to give myself permission to be me, and know that that's our goal, is to find ourselves, right? And then you could be bold and be like you, because we know what we're here to do. Woo!
Woo! I love that. I love that. So, Linnell, I'd like to know, like, since we're talking about the dream starts with me, where did your dream start?
Believe it or not, Shawnte, it started in the trenches. And so I was a single mom with 3 kids. And prior to that, I was in a relationship with their dad for about 14 years. And I would say that there was a breakdown in the relationship for a long period of time. And I'm not going to give you the backstory, but what I will say is my children and I ended up in a situation of homelessness. Their dad moved out of our house. I had taken my children to the park. We lived in Georgia at the time, so Centennial Park was big, big deal for them when they were younger. And at the time, they were like 7, 5, and I believe 2 years old. And we had gone for the day, had such a great time, got home. And when we got home, he was gone. Like everything was gone. Everything that he had bought in the house was gone. Everything he brought into the relationship was gone. And that day, it made me realize that I had been dependent on someone for a very long time, and I wasn't forging my own way. And so that situation actually made me change my mind about my dependence on having someone else take my life. And I started looking at ways to earn money in order to do it. And I had a dream, to quote Dr. King, I had a dream that my children would never sit in the same place in life that I did at that point. And because of that, it's really been my driving force in order to do the things that I'm doing. I haven't done it on the scale that I'd like to do it as of yet, but I am moving towards it every day. And so I would say that my dream actually started in the trenches at the lowest point of my life, because I needed that in order to see clearly. Thanks for the question.
Absolutely. And I'm grateful that you talked about that lowest or one of the darkest moments in your life. And, one of my favorite, one that really spoke to me, I just remember, being like really young and just like, I don't know if anyone understands the impact of when you're having to dive on the floor, when you're hearing gunshots. Like, it's almost like your community is a war zone, when you're not sure if when you go to school, if you're gonna make it there. And I remember a time just how dark things were, that I used to wonder if I would even see the age of 30. I really used to, like, me and my friends, like, that was an actual like concern and fear. Like, we were trying to imagine, like, if we make it to our 20s, let alone make it to 30, because of how much violence was going on, especially in Miami at the time. And I just remember our teacher, when she was teaching us about Martin Luther King, and I had never heard anybody that's, or positive, or even a preacher that really talked about darkness. And his, when I got to read and hear the quote about darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. I felt like it gave me a place, because I looked up to him next to my grandmother. He's the only other person that I had looked up to, that I had been made aware of outside of my family, that I hung on to those words. And I was like, yeah, he spoke to darkness. He said that, like, he didn't not acknowledge that darkness exists. And I feel like sometimes, when people are, just like over completely on the side of just complete optimism, sometimes we can discount the darkness that exists around the world and in people's day-to-day lives. And sometimes we can ostracize people and not be able to reach them. But I heard Dr. King said, he acknowledged the darkness, and he said, darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And I feel like the light of your dream is something that's doing that. The light of our dreams is something that's doing that. And it showed me, because my grandmother used to tell me that I was a light. And so it gave me hope hearing Dr. King say that only light can drive out darkness. And I really, truly took on, in my little kindergarten self, saying, like, yeah, I'm going to do something. I'm going to help drive out darkness in my community. That's what I immediately, saw. And it definitely, took a health path by the time I was in 5th grade. So with that being said, I want to know, how is your dream, your current business or service currently serving others and putting a light, out into the world now?
Well, it certainly has gotten a great hit today just from being here. I can tell you that much. I wanted you to also real quick say, Linnell, I used to be in a dance ministry as a bit of a younger woman at the church, and we did a song years and years and years ago called "Beauty for Ashes." And all I could think of as you were talking, coming into that house with everything gone, look at the beauty. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The beauty that's come out of those ashes, what that must have felt like to a young girl. And with everything gone, I am so encouraged by the Spirit of God this morning. And forgive me if that is not your cup of tea. But I'm just telling you, Linnell, that is so incredibly powerful. Look at where you are out of those ashes. You want to say, something's beautiful? Oh my goodness. I mean, creation is beautiful. Linnell, you're beautiful. That's beauty for ashes, sweetheart.
Woo-hoo! I love that, Linnell. The floor is yours.
Oh, wow. I thank you, Gail. And I'm, as a mom, just trying to put myself in your proverbial shoes, because I have 3 children, and I remember it was never a sense of fear. It was a sense of shock that I had when I came home that day, because my daughter was his princess. Like, everything revolved around her father. And she was actually the one who went to the room looking for him. So she was running towards our bedroom looking for her daddy. And so she's the one that discovered everything was gone. And I remember the look on her face that day. And it broke my heart, but it also made me want to protect her more and become the woman that I needed to be, so that I could be an example for my children. I never wanted my children to look at me as though I could not handle this, because I needed them to understand that life will try to break you down, but it's really what you do with the pieces that matters. And so I took those pieces and I rebuilt my life, and I became the woman that I knew I was in that situation, because who we are is never going to be absent, regardless of what circumstance we're going through. And so I appreciate that you said that, Gail, because I know right now you have a lot of ash around you, but I'm here to be a testimony that no matter what the enemy tries to throw at you, that if you keep your eyes on God and keep focused on him, and you know that he is your source, he will trade that beauty for ashes for you as well. I love you, Gail. I'll go ahead and pass you back.
Yes, thanks so much for that. What a beautiful moment. So Linnell, like, is your current dream, how are you lighting up the world with what you're doing, sis?
So I am an empowerment coach. I help women who've gone through divorce or any other trauma regain clarity and confidence for the next steps. And so what I've been doing is really looking and taking a look at who I was at the moment when I had the clarity of what was going on in my life. And so I think sometimes we get very clouded because of our day-to-day, and we're just going through the motions. So I put myself back into, that time frame of who was I in that moment, and what was important for me to know? What were the signs that I missed? And even though I had missed them, how do I now take those moments and craft a different story? And so I help women not only recognize where they used to be, but also let them understand that what happened doesn't define them. It's just a moment in time that occurred, and they don't have to stay stuck in that moment. And so I'm also a certified NLP practitioner, and I help that the brain is processing information and helping get past that time in life. And so that's one of the ways I'm doing it. But the other way that I'm doing it, a lot of you ladies and gentlemen may not know that I'm also an independent associate for a company that I've actually worked with for about 16 years. And this company has helped me help women, because when they go through divorce, they don't know that there are so many things that need to be put in place. For example, as a mother who has a spouse that primary breadwinner of the house, if he were to leave, how would you pay your bills? How would you pay for daycare? How would you put gas in your car? Where would your groceries come from? What are the things that you need to know about the finances, so that when he does file for divorce, or if you file for divorce, what are the things that you need to know to ask for? What are the things that you guys have to hash out? Even something as simple as who is picking up the kids after school? If the father was the one who used to do it, do you have a plan in place now? And so these are the things that I learned because of this company, and all of the legal nuances that a lot of us don't know. And so I've used that, and I've integrated that into my coaching, simply because it's not knowing is not a good excuse for the law. And so that's why I hope I answered the question, Health. I'm a little passionate about this, because I actually spoke to a woman a couple of days ago who has only been married 2 years, and her husband wants her out of the house. And she's like, Linnell, what do I do? Because he just popped my tires. He popped 2 of my tires, and he put a lock on my front tires. So now I can't get to work, and she's a nurse. She's like, Linnell, what do I do? Because he wants me to do an uncontested divorce. And an uncontested divorce basically means that he's not going to give you anything, because you're agreeing to not have anything in marriage. And so that's why I'm passionate about it, because women need to know what their rights are. Health, I'll go ahead and pass the mic back to you.
Ooh, this is powerful. And I know we're going to have to do a part 2 to this, because I know I've watched you and Stephen has talked about, a testament about your service and what you've done for him. And when he was going through, a painful divorce and that whole thing, right here before our eyes on Clubhouse during the pandemic at that. So I know what you have, is such a valuable thing. And I know that what you're providing obviously must work, because I know that with the character that Stephen has, he would not have even attested to it right here in BWC during his segments. He's talked about, he's called you his angel. And so I hope that people those who are in need of the light of the services that she's bringing, I hope that you guys will connect with her. Check out her link above. I also put it inside of the chat, and I'll put it there again. But I want to ask you, I love, as my final question to you as we get ready to wind things down is, if you could go back and give 12-year-old you a message about starting, thinking about the dream that you're tapping into, the things that you're doing to light up this world and help other families through a tough time as well, like, what would you say to 12-year-old you about just getting started on that dream?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I would say, first of all, your dream, it's your purpose, right? I think so many times as children, and I heard your story about being in a situation where gun violence was very prevalent in your life as a young child. And sometimes it's hard for children to see past their current situation. We know it's hard for them because it's hard for adults. But what I would say to a 12-year-old is to know that your dream isn't just a fantasy. Like, you can achieve it, but it's going to require work. And it also is to require your belief in what you're doing. You will share your dream with other people who are not ready to receive it. And although those people may love you, they don't have what God has just for you. They didn't get the vision planted in them. And so, hello? Oh, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. All of a sudden, my phone just did something wonky. And so the dream isn't planted in other people. The dream is planted in you for you to achieve it. And you have to make a pact with your future self that no matter what happens, no matter how many trials life throws at you, no matter how many tribulations you go through, you have to stay focused on the dream. You are going to lose people on the way, but you're also going to gain people on the way. And you have to be okay with that. And so that's what I would say to a 12-year-old that is looking to pursue, that they just have to make a pact with their future self that they are going to achieve it. Because you know what? In every moment of every day, someone has a situation that they are waiting for a resolution to. And you may be the only resolution because you're the only one who can speak to what it is that they have gone through. You've been in their situation. And because you've been in their situation and you survived and you were able to pull yourself out of it and recreate yourself, you're going to be able to help that next person do the same. And so, Health, I thank you so much this morning for this powerful segment, and just remembering that in the end, we all have a dream, but the question is, do we have what it takes to continue to pursue it? I'll go ahead and pass the mic back over to you.
Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful way to close out this interview, you guys. I want to give you guys an opportunity if someone had a question for Linnell, before I give you my closing thoughts, because I have 3 points that I want you to walk away with and take with you throughout 2024. I'm on a 12-week year, so I've shortened my time frame. I'm going to have multiple years this year. So if you have a question for Linnell, now is the time. You can go ahead and unmic.
Yes. Hey, yeah, thank you so much, Shawnte. Not a question, but just quickly pour into Linnell to say, Queen, you have done an amazing job. So proud of what you've been doing. And I remember we started our communication during the time that Shawnte said, during the time that Stephen Cohn was, you were going through that whole counseling with him. And I remember the times he was crying, bawling his eyes out. You know, one of the things that, you know, we stereotype, he's been in the army, he's a strong man in his, I don't know, 50s or something like that. I think he's in his 50s. And he is crying live in this room because of what he went through, the divorce. I think that was his second marriage. And you were counseling him through that whole process, and you were doing all that, obviously being careful. Sometimes when you talked to him, you would be very careful what you said publicly to get acknowledged from what he can allow you to say. And then he would pick up the mic from you and he would say whatever you discuss. So for him, you're like, okay, I'm okay to discuss. So that's how much I appreciated how amazing you are. Privacy, dealing with whoever it is. Whether for me, I was thinking, wow, this is imagine the young Linnell and you got this, or, you know, if it was not virtual. So for me, I was just really giving you flowers, kudos, and so inspiring. I've learned so much from you, and thank you so much for always communicating with me and always, you know, showing us that you can do anything you put your mind to. It doesn't matter where you are and who you are. So thank you so much, Linnell. Love you.
Thank you, Tasha. Do you mind if I know health, I know that I'm pressed for time. Oh, you know what? You had two other things, so I'll go ahead and let you do.
Oh, it's okay. You can respond to Tasha. I just wanted to say, you don't try to do divorce alone, y'all. Don't try to do this alone. Tap in with someone who's gone and through this and can actually help you through this moment. Go for it, Linnell.
So Tosh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And that's one of the reasons why I've never name dropped, because I don't believe that I should benefit off of someone else's pain by dropping their name and, oh, well, I did this and I did that for them. Because that's not why I'm in the business. I'm in the business to help people get past what it is that they're going through. And so I appreciate the fact that not only you were a part of experiencing that, but also that Stephen has come such a long way. We know that he's with Olga now. And I'm very proud of the fact that he was able to get past that time in his life. And I was one of the people that was helpful in that. So thank you so much, Tosh. Love you more. And yes, we do have to continue to communicate. I'll go ahead and pass the mic back over to you.
Thank you so much. So you guys, I close with saying this, and I'm going to play a 30-second clip from Dr. King. Perfect way to close. Listen, study to show yourself approved. That's what my favorite book says. So study for your dream. Listen, collaborate for your dream and go full throttle for the dream. Remember, the dream starts with you.
Several years ago, I was in New York City. It was a dark Saturday afternoon. The minute
Sorry, wrong one.
I'm so happy that I didn't sleep. Like anybody, I would like to live. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Don't sneeze on your dream. I am Shawnte Wells, and I am delighted, you guys, to have been here to tell you the dream starts with me. So can we all on mic and say the dream starts with me, and welcome in Miss Barbara Majewski. Let's go on mic. 1, 2, 3. The dream starts with me. Woo! Let's go. I didn't hear you. The dream starts with me. Woo!
Dream starts with me.
The dream starts with me.
I love it. Barbara, the mic is yours, sis. And happy anniversary.
Well, good morning. Were we talking about divorce in here and I wasn't called to the conversation?
Oh my God. Totally forgot. Yes, I brought Linnell back because I remember you saying, like, Linnell, we got to talk. Yeah, we were talking about this whole thing of, basically pivoting and the light that she's bringing in the divorce space and helping women or even men. And we talked about Stephen Kuhn a little, but yes, we were talking about divorce.
Damn, I would have loved that. Well, I love that you brought it up. And, I always say, when everyone's like, oh my God, you survived cancer and chemo and surgery. I survived. Divorce was 10 times harder. So for anybody who's going through it, it's tough, but it is so worth it. So anyway, I'm sorry I missed the door, but as you can hear, oh look, today's my anniversary. Look at that.
That's a happy anniversary, bro.
Oh my God, I had no idea. Does anybody really know when our clubhouse anniversary is? But here we are.
They were just the pizza, didn't they?
I don't know. I mean, I would have never known. What is today? I need to mark it.
My anniversary was like 3 days ago too. So I was like, ooh, all this January, go getters.
It was COVID. I mean, we had nothing else to do. And this was like the best. I was just in Twitter Spaces a couple days ago, and like so many old school clubhousers were in there. It was kind of funny. It was like a little mini reunion. Well, anyway, let me kick this off. You can hear I am not feeling 100%, so we're going to move the mic around a lot this morning.